Why an orchestral conductor and a sports psychologist? Why now?
Because connection is the bedrock for high performance. Good evening, everybody, and really appreciate your time. Our agenda tonight for this talk is going to focus in on three combined areas that myself and Eímear have tremendous passion on. We hope that these areas relate to you. It concerns leadership, connection, and performance. The challenge in what you're about to experience over the next 10 to 15 minutes is we are going to enter into the realm of the unseen. What's not so tangible? The secret signs and signals as to what differentiates a world-class team and a world-class performance on any given day versus those that don't. When I stand across from Eímear, I think that she holds the key to the real specifics that matter, and we hope that these specifics you can take away tonight, apply in your family life and in your work life. So we've got a big, bold agenda. We're also going to conclude this session. We're going to leave a map to start a conversation around leadership. So, London 2012 Olympics. My background was I played, I retired, and then I was asked to support the best, to be the best they can be. I joined the Irish Institute of Sport, and in joining the Irish Institute of Sport, I joined a one-stop shop to support our best athletes in terms of how they eat, how they sleep, how they train, their lifestyle. The part that I owned was the support of the coaches around those athletes to ensure those athletes are getting the very best support. To give you one story from one of the most successful Olympic teams ever, the Irish boxing team, in London 2012, 4 athletes achieved medal success. And the lead into that games, it was pretty rocky. And part of the conversation with the head coach was, what type of vibe do you want to bring to your team leading into the games? And his simple response was, I want to be relaxed, I want to be positive, and I want to be focused. I had the privilege of being at the London 2012 Games, seeing the performances and seeing inside the bubble around the performances. And it was really clear to me that the vibe that the leader chooses ultimately becomes the vibe in the team that drives and informs the vibe that the performer ultimately experiences. We need our performers to be brave and bold on the world stage. Based upon that experience, I decided to go back to college to study the science underpinning connection, social support. I connected in with the Gaelic Athletic Association, Ireland's largest sports body, and they had a big problem as to why so many young people were dropping out of youth sport. A combination of a winning culture, a combination of select the best, cut out the rest, enabled a long-term intervention where we tested an alternative way for those children to stay involved in the games. We identified 6 values from the literature. We modified the games and the rules to embody those behaviors in those games over 24 weeks, and we got amazing results. Social support went up, intrinsic motivation went up, and their sense of belonging to Gaelic games went up accordingly. For me, this confirmed what I'd witnessed at the London 2012 Games, is that our leaders are architects of the culture and the environment and the vibe that ultimately drives and informs engagement and the achievement of top outcomes. In 2018, myself and my family moved to New Zealand for 4 years to ultimately work with one of the best nations in the world in elite sport. I was responsible for the high performance part of that function in New Zealand. And one of the things early in my tenure I identified and realized that science had only gone so far with these signs and signals, and that we needed to introduce more art. So I recruited New Zealand's top performing arts leader to come into that setting and to train our coaches in a unique form of pedagogy and andragogy, which involved tikanga Māori. In New Zealand, the Indigenous people represent 20% of the population. It's a values-based ethos in life where they are the land of the people. It's about being authentic. It's about doing the right thing. And across New Zealand, there's 800 of these houses on Marae settlements, and the house represents a human being. And when you enter inside the house, there's 3 main pillars which represent purpose and intention at the back. The things that give you energy in life is the middle pole, and the pole before you go out the door represents the point of practice or the instructions to bring your purpose, your intentions, and the things that energize you to life. In this hidden technology, hold the keys to be able to grow and develop the skills needed for leaders to create the conditions for collaboration. November 2022, two worlds combined. At the center of this photo, you'll see Eimear Noone surrounded by some of the top rugby players in Ireland. The reason for connecting with Eímear was to broaden and deepen our understanding of these signs and these signals on the basis that she's in a world-class environment, providing instruction to people, and they're operating in concert in order to inspire an audience on the world stage. I'm absolutely proud to bring her insight forward into this discussion tonight to share with you. Eímear, over to you.
Thank you. Life is a live performance, and I'm someone who lives and works with the unseen, the intangible, with waves that float through the atmosphere and have the ability to change a person's emotion and have the ability to change the emotions of an entire room, and depending on how they're broadcast, an entire nation, and at its best, potentially the whole world. Imagine the whole world vibrating at its highest level in a state of pure joy. So, imagine the person as a string. Imagine that the body is your instrument. Here we are in the concert hall. Our violinist plays their instrument. When they play the string, it vibrates. They transmit that vibration. The ear of the listener takes that vibration, receives it, and translates it into meaning. So not just that, but the violinist has the ability to change the sound they're making based on what they're receiving from those around them. So they can decide to harmonize or to create a dissonance. And this, to me, is how I live my life. When I walk into my world, into a rehearsal, I might have 2 hours and 10 minutes to rehearse a show that's happening that night that's 2 hours long. So I know that everything I bring to the room is going to make or break what happens later. I have a whole process of things I do to make sure that my energy is clear and clean. I walk into the orchestra fully prepared. What I mean by prepared is what's happening internally with me. There's a quote from a Mary J. Blige song that I love. It's "No more drama." And the quote is, "I told you leave your situations at the door, your baggage. Told you leave your situations at the door, baby, get inside, get your ass on the dance floor." So this is really important to me. My baggage, I'm tired, I'm jet-lagged, I'm ticked off by somebody, I got da-da-da-da-da. No, leave it at the door. I've got to vibrate at my highest, at my warmest. I walk into the orchestra with pure love. These are people who've dedicated their lives to music. I adore them. We start, bear in mind, I have no time. If I have 2 hours and 10 minutes for a 2-hour show, I'm not spending 10 minutes talking to the orchestra. So everything that I do, every micro-communication, every movement, every bit of eye contact, every facial expression means something when you can't speak to the orchestra. And also, in performance, I'm a team member, but I'm also a leader. I'm a player and a coach. I can't speak to them in performance or I'll ruin the performance. So the vibration, the energy that I bring to the situation, to rehearsal, we're not even at the show yet, means everything. Also, I'm going to go on to the next one. Everything begins with that vibration. It's as if we're all transmitting at all times and we're all receiving. Whether you know it or not, you're transmitting a vibration. How many have you said, "Oh, I got a good vibe from that person. I got a sketchy vibe from that person"? That's all relevant because you're picking up micro-communications all the time, but you're also transmitting them. Bear in mind, when you walk into your ensemble, my ensemble is the orchestra. Ensemble is the French word for together. It means a bunch of people doing things together. That's our family. Our family is our most fundamental ensemble. When you walk into that ensemble, the energy the vibe that you're transmitting is being received by those around you, and it's coming back to you. It's being amplified, and it's going out into the world. I see it every single day. So, hurt versus help. We are tuned to the most primal level. We are tuned at the most primal level to figure out when somebody new comes into our environment, are they here to help us? Are they here to hurt us? When you're only as good as your last performance, you meet a new group of people, you're going, okay, are they good? Do they have my back? I don't know. Every single micro-communication I give to a group of elite musicians is informing them as to whether I'm there to help them or there to hurt them, because they're only as good as their last performance. But we do this in everyday life all the time. When you meet someone new, even your partner, are they in a bad mood or a good mood today? Are they going to help? Are they going to send the situation in a different direction? Always transmitting, always receiving, and then amplifying. So this is me before a concert. I'm going to show you what this looks like. Before walking out on stage, I have a whole toolbox that I get into to make sure I'm carrying the right energy, and a little bit of it is method acting. Musicians have a great shortcut to method acting. We get into the piece of music, we inhabit it, all of the character of it, all of the drama of it, everything it's going to do before we come into contact with each other, before I come into contact with the audience or the orchestra. Let me show you.
Tickets to unlock your next level of out-of-this-world live music. Thank you for joining us tonight.
This is the San Francisco
Sit back,
Symphony.
Power up, and enjoy the concert.
This is what you're hearing backstage. I'm listening in my head to what is the first chords of the piece so that I can bring that energy into the audience. It's a really bright trumpet fanfare. This tuning, this is my Pavlovian alarm. I'm going to set my wake-up call to this someday. So before we go on, we're listening to the orchestra tune up.
And stand by for Eímear's entrance each round.
Listening to the piece, priming the energy. Always shake hands with someone backstage.
All right, send in stage right.
I need to bring that piece, that energy. Off you go. And there it is. If I'm performing Mozart's Requiem, I don't give the audience a big wave when I walk out. It's this. So that's what it looks like. It's the preparation, the internal. So I'm going to go from that into flow. So we start with the single string. The single string transmits out to the receiver. The receivers there transmit and amplify, amplify, amplify. It gets louder, it gets bigger. Here I am 2 weeks ago at the Royal Albert Hall. There's a little red blob in the middle of those two circles. That's me. The person not sitting has the best seat in the house, and that's me. All of this vibration is coming. You know that when you come on stage, you start that flow happening. It's coming from you. It goes out to the players. It spreads amongst them. It amplifies. It goes out to the audience. They amplify it back to us. And when you get that feedback loop, you're in flow and you're in what we call the zone. And there is nothing like it, and there is nothing can touch it. It is pure positive energy. And that's what I would like for all of us.
Brilliant. To conclude, everybody, we've been in the realm of those invisibles, the intangibles, the things that really matter to the moments that drive and enable high performance. What we'd like to put forward tonight is a new way to lead, which is based upon a shared approach, a shared response. When you look at the challenges of our time, fear, uncertainty, complexity, we're asking a lot of our leaders, and we're asking as much of our followers. As part of what we would suggest, just like getting to the back wall of that house in New Zealand, just like being deliberate and intentional, like what Eímear just described, everyone in this room can check themselves and fine-tune that string. Where are you going? What do you stand for? What are your guiding values? And based upon centering and reconnecting with that, how do you act that then into the world with others? And if you are a leader, that might be avoiding energy-sapping meetings that suck the life out of the work that we love, to how you name a challenge, and stuff emerges, and the ability to name that and to work the scenario or the challenge around that being absolutely key, to revealing your authentic self in those challenges as a leader. And then finally, how do you build and weave all the various different skill sets so that you have got that collective performance in concert, as Eimear's just described?
So to conclude, dear friends, if you have the choice between being harmonious or being dissonant in your ensemble, your relationship, your family, your sports team, your church, wherever you are gathered, if you could hear your own vibration, how would you want to sound? Thank you.
Well done.